All Progressives Congress kicks off registration and revalidation exercise amidst criticisms coming from a former national chairman, Bisi Akande, and violence erupting in Kwara. And a group of eminent Nigerians in the National Consultative Forum are planning a mega political platform. They say there is a leadership failure in the country. We take a closer look at the agenda tonight on the program. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. It's the midweek edition of the program, and so we're going to be together touching on some of your biggest political stories within the next 60 seconds. So 60 minutes rather. So stay with us everyone and let's get started. But before we get into some of your major political story, let's tell you about what happened today when a government entity flouted a government law, and there is a consequence for that. And so you will see a video of that's what you're seeing right there at an examination today. Officials of the FCT Ministerial Enforcement Task Force on COVID-19 on duty at yet another center in the nation's capital, Abuja, where an ongoing promotional exams of members of staff of NSITF was stopped for violating COVID-19 Health Protection Regulations Act 2021. The head of Publicity and Enlightenment of the FCT Ministerial Task Force on COVID-19, Mr. Ikaru Ota, claims that those in charge of the exams absconded, leaving their cars behind, which were towed by the vehicle inspection officers.
When one of the police officers collected somebody's phone. Somebody escaped arrest, stay defense, escape arrest from defense, you're telling me to stay here?
As examination of that will not happen. Lives, saving lives is very important, and so it's very important that we all keep to those protocols. And let's tell you what happened today at the presidential villa, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, visited the president. And after that meeting, the Speaker is asking Nigerians to be fair in judging the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and not let mistakes made by the party overshadow the good work done since it came into power. He was speaking to State House correspondents after a private meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari.
I want us to be very objective. The party has done so much, but unfortunately, you know, in life, that's just the way it is. If you do 100 good things, and one thing just is not quite right yet, particularly something maybe you met on ground, is not quite right yet, it has a tendency of muddling the waters and discrediting the 100 good things that you've done. And that's the situation we find ourselves. Well, we'll continue to encourage the public. We'll continue to educate the public on the things that APC has done. Now, APC never enjoyed really propagating itself. We thought our work would speak for us. But for me, I've since learned that no, you need to propagate yourself. Because a lot of the things, when I sit down with people, the biggest critics of government, and you know there will always be critics in any government, when I sit down with them and say, but you know what, the party did this, the party did this, the party did this, they're all in shock. They're all in shock. So I think it's time we begin to to market some of the achievements of the party and not let the one or two little, they may be fundamental, I quite agree, but not let those things overshadow the good things that we've done.
Well, we have some very critical issues to discuss tonight on the program, and we have some eminent Nigerians to discuss this issue with us. So stay with us, everyone, because we have some other stories that we need you to see on our political roundup.
Governor Samuel Ortom has resumed duties 7 days after he tested positive to COVID-19 on January 27th, following a second test that returned negative on Monday. The governor alleges the failure in the security sector is caused by the federal government, which has been romancing herdsmen with open buyers. Mr. Otom, while commending the nationwide cry against the atrocities allegedly committed by herdsmen ranging from kidnapping, murder, destruction of farmland and food crops, says the president had better act fast before the nation descended to crises.
If I have my AK-47, a Fulani man is coming there, he knows that I have and he has, then we can fight each other. But you can't disarm me and arm a Fulani man.
And the Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku has asked the federal government to allow all citizens own licensed guns because of the state of security in the nation. Governor Ishaku says security in Nigeria has gone to its lowest ebb, hence demands reawakening. He was speaking when the 15 local government chairmen of the state paid him a condolence visit after the burial of one of them who was kidnapped and subsequently killed by gunmen.
If one thing you do every day is not working correctly, then you should go and find advice from somebody to tell you how you will do it differently to get it correct. You can't keep doing the same wrong thing over and over.
The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Taiwo Oluomo, has presented the 7 former members of Allied People's Movement who defected to the All Progressive Congress to the party leadership in the state. The 7 defectors led by the Speaker were presented before the state chairman of the party, Yemi Sanusi, and other members of the executives at the party's secretariat in Abeokuta, the state capital. Addressing the new members of the party, the chairman expressed joy that they have come to join the party at a time when all hands must be on deck to promote the much-needed peace and unity among members.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So let's get started. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has begun its registration and revalidation exercise that it's been advertising for a while now across the country. And some prominent leaders of the party are getting counted in that exercise. For example, the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, is saying going through the process in Omuma community, Oru East local government area of Imo State, is encouraging the people of Imo State to support the ruling All Progressives Congress. According to him, it remains the only party that can deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of the state and the Southeast. Perhaps similar thing that you saw President Buhari do in Daura is what you see now that the governor of Imo State is also doing in his ward in Imo State. But it didn't go well in Kwara State. Let me show you why it did not, as the registration exercise was disrupted when some members who were aggrieved began to throw chairs. The officials are seen leaving the venue of the exercise. The APC in Kwara State has been enmeshed in crisis. Take a look at that issue which erupted today in Kwara State. So you see what happened there in Kwara State. There's been issues with the leadership of the APC in Kwara State, and there's been warning before today about the manner in which the exercise should go before things went awry earlier today as the exercise was about to get started. Let's speak with the governor of Imo State and the Senator Hope Uzodinma on what the registration exercise means for the APC. But before we get started, Governor Hope Uzodinma, he joins us from Owerri, the Imo State capital. Thank you, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight on the program. Governor, I would like you to, for a moment, listen to one of the leaders of the party who has some issues with the registration exercise, the former national chairman, the interim national chairman of the APC, the very first leader of the party, and former governor of Osun State, Bisi Akande. Take a listen to what he said, and I'd like to get your reaction to it.
A caretaker executive committee for a political party is an abnormality. If not carefully controlled and expeditiously managed, most aberrant authorities end up in contempt and disgrace. For this reason, I want to urge the present APC Caretaker Executive Committee to resist all temptations of C-type syndromes that usually characterize most hand-picked authorities in most undeveloped countries of the world. The second major perception is that APC leadership might be wasteful and unappreciative of the proper use of money in a kind of scanty economy in which Nigeria now finds itself. These seeming ugly perceptions put into abeyance the applause of the two national election successes that the original APC register enjoyed since its completion on
Governor Uzodinma, you heard what the leader of the party, the ABC Akande, has described two issues he raised about the leadership of the party and what he has termed the registration, he said, is a wasteful process.
Yeah, Shehu, I heard very well, very clear.
Let me get your reaction to what Chief Bisi Akande said, Governor.
Well, Chief Bisi Akande is one of our very respected leaders in Nigeria and one of those who suffered to put the party APC into what it is today. And he has just simply advised us to ensure that the caretaker should do everything it will take to make sure that the original ideals of them that conceived APC as a party is sustained. And it's an advice. And secondly, he also advised that given the nature, the state of our economy today, that the HBC should avoid the temptation of being dragged into money politics. I quite agree with him. It's an advice that doesn't deserve or require any reply or response. I think it's those that have been advised should take home the advice and make use of it.
But so does it now highlight or emphasize the fears of some people who think in the party, a segment of the party, that think that the exercise is to stifle the prominence of some leaders of the party?
No, I don't agree with that because the decision for revalidation and registration of membership in the party, constitutionally, the last time APC did registration, some members or some people who wanted to become members of APC did not attain the statutory age of 18. And by now they are 18. For that reason, they should be given opportunity to join the politics of the party, of the country, by registering into a party of their choice. Such group of people should be allowed or have the opportunity to join our party. And the decision to do this was taken at the National Executive Committee, acting on behalf of convention, consistent with the constitution of APC. And you know, in partisan politics, the party authority, once they take a decision, we are all bound to follow. That does not mean that we may not have reservations for decisions, but once majority has decided, the minority most times are bound to follow. So I think that we are not going to support any arrangement by anybody, which I don't know if it ever exists, to want to drag any personality or any important leader to the mud. I don't think it is to my knowledge. But I think I'm a committed party man. I'm loyal to the party. I want to support the decisions of the party and to submit myself to processes approved in accordance with the constitutions of the party by the party.
Governor Uzodinma, how would you describe what has happened today? We played the video earlier before we connected with you. What we saw in Kwara today, a disgraceful incident where people were throwing chairs at each other, what some have described as perhaps the center no longer holding in Kwara State, a state that your party took control of in the last governorship election. It does look like the reconciliation effort is falling on its tummy in that state. How would you describe the situation when some people who have criticized the leadership to say that they've not been able to get the reconciliation right?
Shehu, honestly speaking, throwing shares at each other is as old as partisan politics in Nigeria. If you recall, in the First Republic, if you watch the video of the first parliament of the country, you saw people throw shares at each other. Second Republic, you saw that happen. Even during 1999 partisan politics, you recall that in a co-meridian, when the first group of politicians met to decide to go and meet the then military head of state for democracy to be allowed to thrive in Nigeria, that first meeting, people threw shares at each other. So in politics, in partisan politics, you disagree to agree. So what has happened in Kwara is not unusual with the partisan politics. They will usually disagree. But what matters is that the party will sit back, invite its conflict resolution mechanism that is internal to resolve the differences, and then the party will move forward. Today they are throwing chairs at each other, but I can bet you in the next few weeks you will see them embracing themselves, because the business of politics is about interest. Once it is an all-inclusive arrangement, and once the arrangement is in place, and people understand themselves and agree to work together, all issues will be resolved. And the political space today, democratically speaking, is large enough to accommodate every interest. So there's nothing to worry about. I think what has happened in Kwara will be addressed by the relevant organs of the party. And the constitution of our great party has provided for solutions for envisaged disagreements, should that occur. What happened today was also inclusive. So it is not anything to worry about. I think our members in Kwara State, working with the governor of the state, luckily for us, Kwara State is governed by APC. I think the governor must rise to the occasion, and then working with other stakeholders, resolve the issue, and then there we go.
We are due for break in 30 seconds, but that chaos that we saw, that we're seeing right there on the screen, does that describe the situation on the state of affairs of your party?
Well, Kwara State is one state out of 36, plus Abuja. This exercise is going on simultaneously in 36 states plus Abuja. That you saw chaos in one state is a very negligible ratio, percentage. And I can tell you that the party, knowing what our party is all about, will, as soon as possible, resolve the issue, and we'll be good to go.
All right, we take a breather. But when we come back, Governor Uzodinma, we'd like to get your view on the state of things in the southeast region of the country as it relates to the APC and Nigeria at large. Don't go anywhere. Our conversation with Governor Uzodinma continues after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back to the program. And let's continue our conversation with the Executive Governor of Imo State and the Chieftain of the APC, Governor Hope Uzodinma, who has been speaking with us live from Owerri, the capital of Imo State. Thank you so much, Governor Uzodinma, for talking to us. Before I go into specifics of what is happening in the Southeast and the expectations of some of your people there, let me ask you, this is perhaps something that has been bothering the minds of some of the loyal members of your party, and perhaps critics of your party also have raised this issue, that after the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, that your party might not be able to withstand the storm that will come after it. In summary, what they're trying to say is that Buhari is APC, APC is Buhari. After Buhari's government, that APC might not be able to stand. How do you react to that?
Well, thank you very much. I know for sure that the membership of our president, President Muhammad Buhari, the leader of the party, is a very huge asset to APC. And there's never been any place or any time the president said that he would withdraw his support from APC after his service as the president of the country. When he leaves as the president, he will still remain a committed member and the leader of APC. So whatever asset that is at his position will still be deployed to the party. So rather than expect that the party will be weakened, the party will be stronger. Because here will be a president who is a huge asset, and again, a new president that will emerge, because given the activities and achievements of Muhammad Buhari as the president of Nigeria, there's no doubt that Nigerians will vote APC again. And when we will have this president, and with the former president, with a huge asset, a committed member of the party, it means that our solvency margin will continue to be on the increase. So I don't agree that after 2023, when President Muhammad Buhari will no longer be the president of Nigeria, that the APC will be weak. No, APC will be stronger. And I can assure you that I have seen new excitements. I've seen new commitments among members. I have also seen increasing support by even non-members of the APC who are now joining in their thousands to become members of the party. That the APC is the party to beat anytime, any day.
Let me go to what is happening there in Imo State, in the Southeast, and perhaps 2023. Let me get your reaction. Is there any commitment? You are a leader of the party in the Southeast, and interestingly, this is the very first time that the PDP is not having as much of a stronghold in the Southeast, considering the fact that out of the 5 Southeast states, APC now has 2 governors. That's huge for your party, isn't it? Because historical for what we have seen in the past. So have you gotten any commitment that is a possibility that the Southeast region might be getting a shot at presidency in 2023?
Well, politics is a career. And the expectation of everybody or every person in his or her career is to get to the zenith of the career. Politically speaking, the dream of every good politician in Nigeria is one day to become the president of Nigeria. But you have to work for it. In the Southeast, we are committed because there must be a time in the life of every nation or community where people must wake up to face the realities of the moment. Today, for the past couple of years, the Southeasterners have been in the opposition party, PDP. But it happened in the First Republic. The Southeasterners under NCNC were not able to be part of the national politics until our great Zik brought the idea of making an alliance with MPC. Meaning that Zik knew from time immemorial that the only way for a people to get maximum dividends of democracy is if they become part and parcel of the national politics. So he entered into that alliance, NC, and MPC. And that fetched us the opportunity of Zik becoming the president of Nigeria. In the Second Republic, our great leader, Dr. Alex Ekweme, who was also the vice president in MPN, looking and discovering that the only way the Southeast will be developed is if they become part and parcel of the national politics. He created the idea of MPN-MPP alliance, accord. And the great Zik then, our great Zik, signed on that alliance. And through that alliance, Ekweme not only, he was the vice president. That alliance ended with Umezoke, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and created Mike Okoye, the pioneer Minister of State of FCT. So politics is about your people. Politics is how will your people gain from it. Governance is about taking care of the people. So recently, and at this moment, we have seen that the Southeast cannot attract the necessary dividends of democracy if we continue to remain outside the national politics. And that is why APC is the ruling party. The federal government of Nigeria belongs to APC. And it is only when we are part and parcel of the moving train that we can get to our destination. It is for this reason that the Southeast, we are now decided to be part of the national, the mainstream politics of Nigeria. So we are committed. We have joined APC, the ruling party. It is not about being president or not being president. Politics is about ideology. Politics is about logic. But we want to be part and parcel of every meeting that will decide how a president will emerge in Nigeria. We want to submit to the party because in partisan politics, the decision of party remains supreme. So our belief, our commitment is to be part and parcel of the mainstream politics of Nigeria and to enter into this national vehicle that will take us to our destination. And that vehicle is APC. And I can assure you, Shehu, our people are committed. It is not about the elites alone. We are talking of the youths. We are talking of the women. We are talking of young men and women in the southeast part of this country. We want a united Nigeria. We want a national integration. We want a national cohesion. We want Nigeria to move. When you see a leader who is working, we want to support him rather than submit to this campaign of blackmail and calumny. President Muhammad Buhari, by our assessment, has done so well that the only thing he's lacking is propaganda. And we, the people, we are not interested in propaganda. We want to see the dividends of democracy. We want a president who will promise you that he will construct Second Niger Bridge, and within the next 12 months, Second Niger Bridge is almost 80% complete. We want a president who will hear that Enugu Airport has been broken down, and within the next 6 months, Enugu Airport is fixed. Never in the history of Nigerian democracy has any government brought out the level of the number of social intervention programs like this government.
All right. So
the only thing
Governor,
that the man is not giving handouts.
Yeah. So
but
Governor,
must we live on handouts?
Yeah. So let me get to, because I have just few minutes left. So and I have a few questions left. So quickly, you're saying that there is no commitment from the APC to your region that the president will go to the Southeast in 2023?
I lost him all.
All right. So if you can hear me now,
I lost you.
Governor Uzodimma, the question I'm asking is, I wanted to get it clearly, or perhaps maybe you can just give us in a one-sentence answer. As the APC giving the Southeast region and the leaders the commitment that the presidency in 2023 will be going to your region? All right, it seems that we're having troubles getting back to the governor hearing and getting the feedback from what he's saying. We've been speaking with the governor of Imo State, Senator Opus Odima. So, Governor, if you can hear me now, I have just about 3 minutes to the end of this conversation. So, I wanted to get your the clarity from you on the fact that has the APC given the Southeast leaders in the APC a commitment that 2023, the presidency will go to your region?
Well, APC is a rule-driven party. It's a party that has rules. Our democracy is also driven by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in these two books, both the Constitution of APC and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I have not seen anywhere it is written that before people will join party, that there must be a commitment that they will have the presidency before they join. I think that we are joining the party, submitting ourselves to the constitution of the party and the constitution of Nigeria. I don't want the politics of ethnicity. I don't want the politics of this person said and this person did not say. It is an internal matter of the party at a point to make available a process that will choose a president, a presidential candidate. Right. And ours will not be different.
Okay.
So don't join the people of Southeast into any controversy of whether there's a commitment or no commitment. But just encourage my people, the people of Southeast, to be part of the national politics.
All right. So quickly, Governor, we did not see Senator Rochas Okorocha, the former governor of Imo State, at that stakeholders meeting. It does look like those who are saying that there is still crisis in Imo APC, and some of his supporters were not also there. Are you guys still together?
Well, every member of APC, not all the members came. You know, yesterday was the first day. And this exercise will last up to March 20th. So some who didn't come yesterday may come tomorrow. So until the exercise is over, we'll know those who came to revalidate their membership and those who did not come to revalidate their membership. And until that is done, I will not know those who did not come intentionally or those who had excuses for not coming. So I think that we should allow the end of the period to March 20th, so I will know the members who did not come to revalidate their membership in APC. And then we take it from there, but I can assure you that Imo State indeed is entirely going for APC. Sheikh, can you send your team and come and see the change in Imo State? It's a revolution now. Not only in Imo State, in the Southeast. APC is properly animated in the Southeast. Our people, we have seen the light, and we are following the light. And that is the party that will bring up all the expectations of an average Easterner to fruition. So by the grace of God, my appeal is for you people to support the Southeast, become part of and parcel of Nigeria project.
So I just have about 60 seconds to the end of the conversation, but I wanted you to tell Nigerians whether or not you and Senator Rochas Okorocha are still good, or there's still some issue that you need to trash out between both of you.
Rochas is my brother.
Okay, I know that. I know that you are brothers for the fact that you are from the... Yes, I can hear you, Governor. I know that you are brothers for the fact that you are from...
I can hear you.
Yeah, I know you're brothers for the fact that you are from the same state.
Yes.
But, I mean, it seems that you guys had a tough time, a rough time in recent past. Are things now good with both of you?
No, we don't have any disagreement. As a person is my senator, I'm his governor. He was once time a governor here, former governor, and I was his senator then. So now that he's my senator, I'm his governor. I think what we should be talking about is how to use the two positions to bring the dividends of democracy to our people and how to work together to protect our people. There's nothing personal. Personally speaking, I have no issues with him. And as a government, I expect that we must work together. But you see, there's no act to find mines construction on the face. For me, I have no ill feelings against former Governor Korosha. And like I told you, he is the one representing me in the Senate, and he's from Olu Zone with me, and I'm his governor here. And the synergy is what we need to make sure that Imo State moves forward. So there's nothing. We don't have anything.
All right.
We are not quarreling. We are together.
On a final note,
brothers.
Yeah.
We are both strong politicians from Imo State.
On a final note, Governor, let's end the conversation just in about 30 seconds. I'd like to know what is the latest as regarding what happened in Olu, the violence that we saw in the video that went viral. And perhaps you can also just mention a little, because those who are saying that you have spent a year in office, what have you to show for it?
Well, what happened to in Olu unfortunately happened, but I can assure you it's one of those challenges of leadership. People you may not be in position to control or manage. There are militants all over the world. We have militants in Asia, we have militants in the Middle East, we have militants in other parts of the country. Somehow they find their way into Olu, and they caused the mayhem they caused. But security agencies rose to the occasion, and it has been contained now. And I think we'll take it from there. The insecurity is not only in Nigeria alone. There's insecurity everywhere. If you go all over the world, terrorism is just trailing here and there. Only a few weeks ago, you will agree with me that even in the United States, hooligans went to Washington, D.C. and visited Capitol Hill. You saw what happened there. So in the same manner, militants came into Olu, and they caused what they caused, but security were able to repel them. So my appeal is that let all of us join hands to defend our country as a people. Both those in authority and those outside authority must join hands. So through joint effort, we'll be able to protect our people and provide sufficient security to our people.
All right.
So I think that the Olu situation now has been managed and is contained, and the people, usual business, normal businesses have resumed, and our people are now free going about their businesses without fear of any molestation.
Okay, we have to leave it at that. Governor Hope Uzodinma, thank you so much for your time tonight on Channels Television. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us. That leads us to break, but when we come back, some eminent Nigerians are saying there is a failure of leadership in Nigeria, and they're taking it upon themselves to change the scheme of things. We'll hear from one of the strong members of the mega political party movement in Nigeria. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's move into some other issues. Some eminent Nigerians under the edges of National Consultative Forum, NCF, have decided to launch what they call a mega political party movement in March 2021. The group, which consists of prominent Nigerians like popular political economist Professor Patu Tomi, former House of Representatives Speaker Gali Naba, former CBN Deputy Governors Professor Kingsley Mohalu and Dr. Obadiah Melafia, say they are collaborating with other groups like the #EndSARS Youth Movement to save Nigeria from what they refer to as a failed political leadership in the country. We're now being joined by one of the strong members of that group, Elijah Kim Baba Ahmed. He joins us from our Abuja studio. It's good to see you again. Happy New Year to you. And thank you so much for coming on the program tonight. Interestingly, you are also the spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum. And perhaps let me get your reaction to the statement you released yesterday. In that statement, the Northern Elders Forum was reacting to what had been happening, the issue of security. And you said, and I quote, law-abiding Fulani communities are advised to seek protection where it is available. Can you expatiate on this?
Yes, well, thank you for inviting me to the program. We gave advice to the Fulani on the basis of all the things that have been happening. Everyone in Nigeria knows in the last few days, a lot of Fulani people have been harassed, threatened, and attacked. Initially in the western part of the country, now also in the eastern part of the country. Even as we speak, it's quite possible some Fulani communities are either hiding or running away from individuals and communities that have taken the law into their hands and decided that they don't want to see the Fulani anywhere in Nigeria. Nigerians living lawfully, pursuing a living like every other Nigerian, but suddenly demonized and criminalized, and everybody is saying, we don't want to see Fulani. Fulani must live. Fulani must live. Now, so the first step we took is to take our time, not to raise tension by speaking out. We confirmed that there are Fulani people. There are millions and millions of Fulani people living lawfully, legally. They are not bandits. They are not kidnappers. They are not breaking any law. And there is no reason why anybody should demonize them and harass them. Secondly, we established that innocent people are being attacked just for being Fulani. That is wrong. It's unacceptable. We also established that a lot of them in Oyo, in Ondo State, in some parts of the east, in the last 2 days, a lot of Fulani have been threatened and attacked. A lot of cattle have been killed. So we advised the Fulani to seek protection from state agents, from communities, from decent Nigerians who believe that you shouldn't just kill, attack, or harass another Nigerian for his ethnic group. And then we advise the government, unless there are grounds to suspect that any Nigerian, whether it's Fulani or Ijo or Igbo or whatever, unless there are grounds to suspect that they have committed a crime, no one has a right to harass them, to intimidate them, to kill them, to burn down their assets. It's wrong, it's dangerous, and it is not something the Nigerian state should tolerate, because there are Nigerians all over this country who are living at the mercy of communities who tolerate them, who welcome them, and who do not accuse them of being part of crimes. And what is happening to Fulani in southern parts of the country is unacceptable. We also said, I'm sure you're going to get to that, if the Nigerian state, the federal government, the states, the communities, if they're not going to protect Fulani, honest Fulani people who are not bandits, who are not kidnappers, people who have lived in communities for 40, 50 years, who everybody knows, and they're not going to be protected against thugs and hoodlums, people who just want to harass them, then we'll tell them to come back to the north. And we will challenge the northern governors to find space for lawful Fulani people to make a living.
I'd like you to react to this. A leader of the Yorubas, the Are Ona Kakanfo, in an exclusive interview with Channels Television said this, and I'd like you to react to what he said. Take a listen to what Chief Gani Adams said to Channels TV.
Invasion, and we have been seriously infiltrated. And we trace the hand of conquest from some Fulani herdsmen. Because majorly we have some Fulani that have been living with us peacefully for the past 100 years. We have about 2 or 3 generations of Fulani people living with us peacefully. But for the past 7 years, we now witness strange things from the Fulani tribe in Yoruba land. The one that is living peacefully will not give us intelligent report about the criminal activities of the people that come in to the different community in Yoruba land. And, they have discouraged the Yoruba people from farming now. And if care is not taken, within 1 year, there will be a famine in Yoruba land.
Dr. Baba Ahmed, how do you react to that?
Well, first of all, it would be unrealistic for anybody to say that some Fulani do not represent threats to communities. They started in the north. There are a lot of Fulani who are involved in criminal activities. They made the north their first victim, so we would be the first ones to admit that there are indeed criminal elements among the Fulani. But there are also a lot of honest, decent, hardworking Fulani who are all over this country who are not criminals. And those people must be protected. This idea that the Fulani represent a threat, and so when you say Fulani, everybody just starts panicking. We don't want to see Fulani, we don't want to see cattle. It's a very dangerous development. It criminalizes an entire ethnic group. It makes millions of Nigerians, it puts them under threat. It creates an image of a reality which is not true. And it also puts other ethnic groups in danger. Because all you need to do is to identify particular crimes and identify those crimes where a particular ethnic group is preponderant. Now, I'm not going to mention a tribe, an ethnic group here, but let me tell you something. In Kano State, and this is backed by evidence, it's hard evidence, drug manufacturing, drug distribution is linked with a particular ethnic group. This is not a rumor. This is hard fact. More than 80% of all the drugs that is packaged, made, distributed in many parts of the north is directly linked with a particular ethnic group. Should Nigerians go around saying everybody who is a member of that ethnic group is a criminal, is involved in drug making? There are millions and millions of Nigerians all over this country. If we begin to demonize people and say as soon as we see a particular person from an ethnic group, we profile them and we link them up with a crime. Now, I was listening to the Ari Onako Kamfo there, and he's talking in generic terms about Fulani. Fulani have been in southern parts of the country for longer than 100 years, long before even colonialism. There's no community which doesn't know Fulani. They've known them as honest people. They've known them as hardworking people. And when you hear people like this saying, oh, we see a new Fulani, we see a new Fulani. Yes, there is some infiltration among the Fulani. We accept that. We also believe that it is the responsibility of the state to identify that infiltration. It's not up to any ethnic champion. It's not up to anybody. People cannot assume responsibilities for the responsibilities of the state. It is the Nigerian state who should fish out, whether Fulani or whoever, who is a criminal and who should determine that. But if people start usurping responsibilities of the Nigerian state and chasing Fulani and saying, we don't want to see you here, pack and leave, burn down their homesteads, burn down their cattle, harass them, kill them, that is not acceptable. And like I said,
Dr.
it is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, it's interesting that you are wearing different caps tonight. Let me get your view, because you are a part of the NCF that is planning a mega political platform to be launched in March. What are you bringing to the table differently, and how are you telling Nigerians on how you want to achieve this?
Well, let's start from what we're talking about now. What is going on in the country now is a very, very good reason why this country needs a completely different type of leadership. Look, we are where we are today because for the last 10, 12, 15 years, a trend has been in motion where more and more citizens have become marginalized, threatened, pauperized, because the Nigerian state has completely broken down. Citizens are not being protected. The economy is shrinking. Our leaders are after power. They are not interested in governing citizens. The program, I watched your interviews with the Governor Uzodinma and happenings in the APC. This is exactly why we are trying to create an alternative to APC and PDP. These two parties have run the country aground. They have destroyed this country. And if we are going to continue to follow these two parties that are going to destroy each other and continue on and finish this country, there will be no Nigeria. I assure you, in the next 10 years, there will be no country. Because these are not political parties. These are clubs of powerful and rich people who are interested in state capture, meaning they want power so that they can lay their hands on state resources, plunder the country, impoverize citizens, make us more desperate, make us fight each other. And there's nothing to fight over. This is a very rich country. There is enough land for the Fulani as much as anybody else. We don't need to fight over land. We don't need to fight over water. We don't need to fight over resources. God has blessed this country. He has given us 200 million people. For goodness sake, in 200 million people, we can produce leaders that are a lot better than these two parties. So we need to recreate the political process. We need to throw away these two parties. Now, now before we started this program, APC is registering members, its own members, doing another registration to prove what? To prove that it has people in the field. Let's ask 10 Nigerians which party they are supporting, 10. Ask them what their two parties stand for. They won't be able to tell you. None. They're interested in capturing power, fine. They're interested in getting their people to become governors so that they can share out public's property, public's wealth. This is not what this country needs. What this country needs is good leaders who understand what the problems of the country are, who serve because service is good, service is honorable. They're not in power to make money. They're looking for solutions to why our young people can't get jobs. They're interested in why Fulani and Yoruba in Yoruba villages cannot live with each other. They are looking for ways in which we can expand the resources and not just chase the little that politicians and finish and then throw out of the windows. There are many, many things wrong with this country that we're looking at that we hope we can fix. And we have to fix them, not just for ourselves, but for our children and their children.
All right. Dr. Hakeem Baba, I'm afraid we are out of time, but I sincerely must thank you for your time tonight and the thoughts that you have shared with us. Interestingly, you won different caps tonight and given us insight into some of these issues. Thank you so much, and I wish you and your group the very best in the coming days. But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Seun Akimbale. Bye for now.